thinking about a lot of things. Most importantly, the Second Amendment, which any person who has ever, studied any part of the Constitution of the United States of America knows it says, due to a well-regulated militia being necessary for security and stuff. It basically just says you need a good military, but also the right of the people, as in every individual in the nation, to carry firearms should not be infringed. So it both secures the right of the military to be armed and the citizenry. It's dual, it's two, which is very important because the way I see it, because it mentions both the military and the citizenry, both civilians and the state, the way I see it, that means that they need to be equally armed, as in anything the government can have, you should have, which I guess makes me a so-called McNuker, which basically means I think that you should be able to buy a nuke if you can afford one. Granted, they're so extremely prohibitively expensive that only, Disney would be able to afford them. But if there's demand, people will figure out a way to make it cheap enough to fulfill that demand, but still expensive enough to, make money. And, plus, the United States military did invent basically a hand grenade-sized nuclear device, which can be launched from a bazooka. Granted, it's like a special nuke launcher bazooka that is twice the size of a normal bazooka, but you get the idea. Because the way I see it is it stands there not just to protect you from criminals and give you the right to hunt and collect food, but also the Second Amendment is also meant to protect you from the government, as in if the government is being evil, which it does every now and again. I'm sure there's a lot of people who wish we could have revolted when Obama was president. I do not think he was nearly that bad. I think Clinton, no, he wasn't that bad either. My point is we have not yet had a terrible enough situation to, but you can still wave your guns in the air, try and scare them. No, that's still bad. My point is, if they ever do something evil enough and stand up and go, die, dude, but because they're evil. And when the government's evil, you gotta destroy it and get a new government. This almost never works. Granted, America's the exception, Us Americans, we think of revolutions as being a good idea, because in our case it worked. But it doesn't normally. One need only look at South America to see how revolutions almost always fail, and when they don't fail, they're almost always a bad idea. So, I guess the way I see it is just the government will not mess with the people and will not become evil if it knows the people have the ability to retaliate. Therefore, the people need to be just as alarmed as the government, even if the vast majority of the, most powerful weapons are in fact in the hands of large corporations. As long as they receive no government funding and are not tied to the government, that still seems legal and good and stuff. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Maybe that's just me. And see you next time.